Hi, welcome to Indie Production Source, Episode 6. My name is Charles Stewart Jr.
And I'm Danae West, and this is Indie Production Source, the show that encompasses everything to do with independent film and video production.
Danae's our new guest host. She's an actress, and we definitely want to get the actress perspective on stuff, because Kelly and I are both producers/directors on indie stuff, and we just want to get that other perspective in the show. So, Danae, why don't you tell us about yourself?
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me. I'm very pleased to be on this show. Like Stu said, I am an actress. I worked bi-coastally. I used to live in LA, and now I live here in Wilmington, and I came here because there seems to be a lot of opportunity.
Cool. So you've also been a producer before, haven't you?
I have. I produced a short film that ended up making it to the Sundance Film Festival.
That's kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal because it's every independent filmmaker's dream to get into the Sundance Film Festival.
Cool. So what do you got going on right now?
Right now I'm doing some feature work, a couple TV pilots, and some commercials.
Nice. Well, we're definitely glad to have Danae on the show. You'll be seeing her a lot more in the future. We've got a segment with her coming up in future episodes, and she'll also be hosting a lot. So we're definitely glad to have her. Thanks again for all your comments and suggestions you guys have been sending in. We definitely appreciate it because it makes the show better. So go to the website, ipsource.tv. You can catch older episodes there. Also, we have an audio version of the show now that you can get as an MP3 if you want to listen to it on the way to on the car. It's also while you're in the car, and it's also unedited. So the interviews are the full length. So that's an option if you want that. So just keep checking it out, and that's it.
Excellent. And that brings us to this week's Fresh Find.
This week's Fresh Find comes to us by way of email from Mark McCoy at 8-perf.com. The program's called Levelator. And what it is, it's an audio program that automatically adjusts your audio levels for you. As an indie filmmaker, this thing is invaluable. Most editors become the audio mixers as well because you're on a tight budget and you can't afford to have someone do your post-sound as well. It was designed by a team of audio engineers whose job was basically to go in and readjust audio levels in projects they were working on. So they decided to do a program that did all that work for them automatically. And since it was designed by audio professionals, they did it the right way, and everything comes out nice, clean, and smooth as it can be with what you put in. It's really easy to use. You basically, once you've completed your editing project and you've got your timeline up, you export it out as an AIF, WAV file, or even an MP3 file if you want. And you take the file that you've exported, and it's just the audio file, and you drag it into the program. And once you see the program, it's very easy to use. It doesn't even give you a lot of options because it's going to do most of the work for you. Once you drag that in there, it'll put its finished file right next to your original file, so you don't really have to hunt around for where it's going. It's going to put it right there, and it's going to do all your levels automatically for you. Another great thing about this program is it's available on just about every platform. It's available on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So whatever editing system you're using, or whatever operating system you're using, it's available for. Really great. If you want to find out more about this product, you can go to conversationsnetwork.org/Levelator. You can download the program there and look around their website and see what else they got going on. It's a pretty cool website. And that's it for this week's Fresh Find. If you got a fresh find for me, email me at ipsource.tv@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to get it on the show.
Well, that's pretty cool. The Levelator, it's like the Terminator of sound.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. I mean, when you're on an indie level, usually the editor is the guy that's doing all the sound mixing. So, I mean, this is definitely another tool for him to use that kind of takes care of that for him, so he doesn't really have to worry about it, and it's free. So.
And it saves you a lot of time in post.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
I'm glad I don't have to worry about that kind of thing.
Yeah, as an actor, you don't. We got to worry about it. But well, that being said, just because you don't see Kelly on the desk doesn't mean he's still not on the show. He's got his segment coming up next, The Plug.
What's up, everybody? This week's plug, we're featuring The Long Road. It's about a man's quest to figure out who's setting him up for murder after he wakes up with no memory of the past 2 days. Check out the trailer. This is The Long Road.
My father once told me that life is a story. We must all walk the long road of life. The long road of what life truly is.
slowly awaken from a terrible dream. Past bleeds far too much into the present these days. What have I done? You know what you have to do now. Run. What are we doing here? Thrust into a bad dream, descended like a smoke screen. The night it went too far to bed, to steam. The night it went too far.
The Long Road comes to us from Canada, where it shot entirely in and around the city of Winnipeg. Filming took place over a span of 16 days. The film's budget is around $6,000, and it was shot on the Panasonic DVX-100B. They're self-distributing at the moment while they have a deal in the works. For more information on The Long Road, check out shadowswithin.net. And if you have a plug or behind-the-scenes footage you want us to show, email us at ipsource.tv@gmail.com. And that's this week's The Plug.
Wow, that looked really good considering they did it for $6,000. So
I really enjoyed that film noir look.
yeah,
The movie's as good as the trailer. They got a film.
yeah. Well, hopefully they'll get a distribution deal soon, and we'll be able to check it out on DVD.
And that brings us to this week's interview. We caught up with Ben and Tom Grass, the creators of MySpace sensation Beyond the Rave.
Matt Hacker, our producer, did the interview, and he did it on iChat, and they were all the way in London, so we were pretty thrilled that the interview worked out really well. So this is the interview.
Okay, this is Matt Hacker with Indie Production Source here with Tom Grass, the writer-producer of Beyond the Rave. First thing I want to sort of start with is, how did you guys get started in the industry?
Well, it began 3 years ago, and Ben was previously working at Sony Pictures as the head of Digital Entertainment Europe. And the idea originally was to start to make content for mobile phones. And we've made 3 series now since we started 3 years ago. And what we found really is that the market for mobile has been slow to evolve. So we've crossed over, and we're focusing primarily now on web series, which can become bigger, either TV or film properties. We're starting small and then growing up from there.
Beyond the Rave, when did this come about? How did the whole notion for this film come about?
Well, when I was, sort of 18, 19, I was going to a lot of free parties out around Oxfordshire, which is where I was at college. And this was a party that I went to actually a few years later. Friends persuaded me to go back, and it was out sort of in this very remote area of Wiltshire, which is kind of the West Country. And we got out there, and there were all these crusties out there. And a crusty is a New Age traveller with, dreadlocks and really quite an ugly scene. And so all these kind of acid casualties and to go in trance. And friends and I were so freaked out by them, we couldn't actually leave the car. And that conversation we had in the car when these guys were outside was basically, wouldn't this make a great horror film? You end up in a remote location going to a party, a rave, and you discover that the guys throwing the party are monsters.
So when did the notion of actually shooting it come into play? Like, when did you have a script, and when you planned on shooting it? When did that happen?
Well, I think it happened very quickly. As I said, we pitched what was essentially a log line. So there's an idea which became, one page, and from there it was like, okay, guys, so how fast could you do this? And then it was like, well, this is great, it's an unusual situation to be in. Then of course you've got to deliver and fast. So we went from that one page